Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. For today's video, we are going through 15 NBA trades that must be made before the start of the NBA season. So this is an article by Darnell Jones. Basically, we're going to go through each one of these trades right here and see if they actually make sense for, the teams out there. Or even see, like, if the player would be a good fit on that squad. So if you guys do enjoy this type of content, be sure to drop a like on this video. It is greatly appreciated. Also, if you guys ever do want to, like, read the articles and stuff, the link to it is always in the description below. So let's go ahead and get started on this. The first trade we have is Kyrie Irving to the New York Knicks. So, Kyrie Irving actually just went on record to say that right now it does not make sense for him to sign an extension with the Boston Celtics. So it's kind of brought up, some speculation that he's very interested in going to the New York Knicks. Just because, for me, man, I was actually looking at the financials. And if Kyrie Irving were to sign an extension right now, he would make roughly like $130 million. Where if he did wait, and sign a supermax with the Boston Celtics, he would get paid roughly like $210 million. So, I mean, yeah, financially, it does make sense. But that being said, if he is interested in going to the Knicks, then I feel like the Knicks would need to trade for him right now, or at least the Boston Celtics would need to trade him to the Knicks right now, just because, that way you can invest in Terry Rozier as your starting point guard. I think Terry Rozier, the way he played in Brad Stevens' system, he definitely warrants, being able to start for this Boston Celtics team if Kyrie Irving were to get traded away. But not to mention that, it's like, you could probably get some pretty damn decent pieces from the New York Knicks if you were to trade them right now to the team, just because, if you wait till next season, he's just going to walk away. You get nothing back for him. Now, from the Knicks side of things, it totally makes sense because, the Knicks have been a struggling franchise for quite a long time now. All of a sudden, you have Kristaps Porzingis and Kyrie Irving as your team to build around. I mean, Kyrie's, 25, 26. Kristaps in his early 20s himself. So, I mean, that's something you definitely can start building around going forward. Pretty soon, Joakim Noah, his bitch-ass contract's going to be out the books, and you're going to have plenty of money to play around with. And, I mean, the New York Knicks, those are one of those franchises that big-name free agents are going to want to come to play for. So, yeah, you get Kyrie out there, you kind of show that other NBA players that the Knicks are committed to building a successful franchise. It totally makes sense. I would love to see him play there personally, man. I think it'd be a lot of fun. And, bring the Knicks back, their franchise back, just because, the Boston Celtics have so much talent on that team. They can go without Kyrie Irving and still be championship contenders out there. Okay, next up we have, whoa, man. Yo, what's going on? Who made this bitch-ass article? Yo, Darnell. Okay, Kristaps Porzingis to the Boston Celtics. Yeah, it would be cool. But there is no way in hell this is going to happen, man. The New York Knicks are not going to let go of Kristaps Porzingis. I mean, it's not going to happen, man. I don't even got too much to say about this. Yo, what's this, man? Who the hell is Janis Porzingis? Okay, I know that Kristaps is going to be sidelined for quite a while with that ACL injury, which for one reason, man, I don't think you can trade injured players. I just don't think that's a thing you can do. So that already does not make much sense right there. But, man, trading Kristaps Porzingis for Kyrie Irving straight up, yeah, from the Boston Celtics standpoint, it totally makes sense if you know that Kyrie is going to leave. But Kyrie is not going to demand a trade to the Knicks if he knows he's going to be traded for the superstar player on the New York Knicks team. Because all of a sudden, it's just Kyrie and everybody else out there. Makes no sense to me at all. I don't see that happening. Next up, we have Gordon Hayward to the Miami Heat. I actually do like that fit a lot because, it allows the Boston Celtics to kind of invest in Jason Tatum. Put to rest any sort of trade rumors whatsoever. I know some trade rumors go around with saying, Jason Tatum and Terry Rozier and a first-round draft pick for, Anthony Davis and stuff like that. But, Gordon Hayward, we've got to see him play, 5 minutes for the Boston Celtics. And I have no doubt in my mind that this dude would be a 20-point-per-game scorer on the Boston Celtics. But I also do believe in too much of a good thing. If he were to go to the Miami Heat team, that team's probably a top 3 or 4 team in the Eastern Conference just because, they already have a ton of great players on the squad. But Gordon Hayward would kind of be like that all-star caliber small forward in that go-to scorer, in crunch time and stuff like that. I actually do like this a lot. As far as, a trade that would work, maybe Gordon Hayward to the Boston Celtics for, do you want to say, a Deion Waiters or maybe, I don't want to say Josh Richardson. I feel like he'd want to stay on the team. Maybe, a Wayne Ellington and combination of other players out there, maybe even straight up guys. You can do Gordon Hayward for a sound voice. I do a sign trade type of thing out there. So yeah, I would actually like that a lot. Moving on though, we got Harrison Barnes to the Toronto Raptors. All right, so Harrison Barnes a few seasons ago was part of that historical Golden State Warriors team. This man wanted to get paid his money out there. He wanted to go out there and prove that he could be the leader of a team. Went to the Dallas Mavericks, and well, we all know the rest. The Dallas Mavericks have been pretty trash, and Harrison Barnes has kind of proven that he can't really be the #1 option on a winning team. Now, if he went to the Raptors, that's like actually the perfect fit. I know they already have OG Anunoby out there, although I do think he could probably play the 4th spot. You'll probably trade Serge Ibaka somewhere else to free up some cap space. Then all of a sudden you got Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan, Harrison Barnes as your 3rd scoring option, OG, and also Jonas Valanciunas. That team right there, Harrison Barnes is kind of that missing piece that the Raptors have been lacking. So that is actually really good. He also goes back to being a 2nd or 3rd scoring option on that team, where it's just like the pressure's kind of off him. He can go out there and, drop his 15 points a game or something along those lines. Okay, next we have, well, there we go, man. There's the trade right there. Serge Ibaka to the Dallas Mavericks. So Serge Ibaka definitely has lost a step as far as his athleticism goes. As far as being a jump shooter, I mean, that's kind of what he does with his game now. He's pretty much like a glorified stretch big out there, where it's just kind of like, I don't know, I liked it better back in the day when he would like attack the basket and do things like that, but the fact that he is slower now, he would be like a short-term replacement for Dirk Nowitzki once Dirk Nowitzki does retire. What it would allow essentially is, if the Dallas Mavericks do draft somebody like a Marvin Bagley or a Jaren Jackson, or one of those really good power forwards out there, it would give them a few seasons to really develop to be that all-star caliber player. And by then, Serge Ibaka's contract's up, so their money would be available to trade for some, or to sign another all-star on that team. So for like a short-term thing, I definitely don't mind it at all. Like the Dallas Mavericks are not going to be going to the NBA playoffs anytime soon, so it does make sense from a development standpoint. Some of the younger players out there. Okay, next we have Hassan Whiteside to the Boston Celtics. So I did kind of just talk about this one right here. Hassan Whiteside on the Boston Celtics is a pretty nice move because it's a very low pressure situation for him, where he's not really demanded to go out there and drop 20 points and grab 13 rebounds. I mean, yes, you could definitely put up those numbers on any given night, but all of a sudden you got a team of, especially if Gordon Hayward's traded to the Miami Heat, then you have a team of essentially Kyrie Irving, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Al Horford probably at the 4th spot, Hassan Whiteside at the 5. We'll just bring some good defense to that team out there. I really do like that move a lot too. It seems like for a long time now, the Boston Celtics have been in search for kind of that defensive, rebounding-oriented center. They never seem to come across it. Not saying that Al Horford's not like defensive-oriented, but definitely not offensive, or he's definitely not rebounding-oriented at all. Like he's decent at best. I do like this move a lot, man. It just gives this team a different look out there. Okay, next up we have Karl Anthony Towns to the Phoenix Suns. Now, I'm pretty sure the Timberwolves management already said that they are not going to be trading Karl Anthony Towns. Like, they would low-key go out and fire all the coaching staff before they traded this man right there, which I don't blame them. But if this trade were to happen, the idea of Karl Anthony Towns and Devin Booker on the same team, yes, it would be nice. It would definitely work. Do I think that's a winning basketball team? I don't think quite yet. Like, Devin Booker and Karl Anthony Towns, they still have something more to prove to me out there. It's definitely a huge step in the right direction. Now, I would say for this to happen, the Phoenix Suns would probably have to give up that first round or that first pick overall. And then, in return, the Minnesota Timberwolves would probably get like DeAndre Ayton or something like that to replace Karl Anthony Towns. So I don't know if it really makes much sense to do that. But, like Karl Anthony Towns, Devin Booker, if anything, it would be fun to watch. I just don't think that team by itself, it would be all that great right away. I think they would definitely struggle defensively. So I think Karl Anthony Towns needs to stay in the Timberwolves. I'm completely fine with that. All right, next up we have, there we go, man. Yeah, that's what I was saying, DeAndre Ayton to the Minnesota Timberwolves. What's he, guys, like 19, 20 years old out there. Can shoot the mid-range shot. I mean, I was looking at some, footage of him out there, and he definitely, man, my big comparison for him is Joel Embiid. That's why I like to say he is out there, but he definitely is going to be a franchise center out there. I mean, you definitely see it with the type of numbers he put up in college, and just kind of, based off the draft combine and all that stuff out there. So if you were to trade Karl Anthony Towns, if you got DeAndre Ayton back, then it kind of does set the team back quite a few seasons. Just because, like, then you got to wait for DeAndre Ayton to kind of develop as a player, which may take a few seasons, where Karl Anthony Towns is really starting to enter just like that NBA prime out there. And you combine that with Jimmy Butler, who's kind of older, and it's just like I said, man, I don't think it makes much sense from either team's standpoint to really do that. Okay, next up, we have Kawhi Leonard to the Philadelphia 76ers. So out of, like, Paul George, LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, all those guys being rumored being signed by the 76ers, I think I like Kawhi Leonard as the best fit there. Paul George is a close second, though, like one of those two guys, because just the thing about Kawhi Leonard, he's going to bring an element of defense to that team that's just going to make them nearly unstoppable when it comes to other teams trying to score on them. Ben Simmons, probably you re-sign J.J. Redick, put him at the 2. But even this, guys, imagine Ben Simmons, Kawhi Leonard in the backcourt, then starting Robert Covington at the 3, Dario Saric at the 4, and Joel Embiid at the 5. Like, that team's got shooting on it, minus Ben Simmons, and just got amazing defense. So I do like that fit a lot. Do I think Kawhi is going to end up on the Philadelphia 76ers. I personally think he's going to be re-signing or signing an extension with the San Antonio Spurs. But if we were to go to the 76ers, that team I think is a lock to win the Eastern Conference. Okay, next up we have Markelle Fultz to the San Antonio Spurs. So, I mean, Markelle Fultz for Kawhi Leonard, that does not get it done straight up. I actually do think you would need to toss in probably a Dario Saric and a first-round draft pick. Then all of a sudden, you probably have Robert Covington at the 4 spot, Kawhi at the 3, and then probably JJ Redick at the 2. Now, from a San Antonio Spurs standpoint, being able to get Markelle Fultz a first-round draft pick, Dario Saric, I mean, we always forget, man. This man was picked number 1 in the draft, guys. The first pick. Like, yes, he had injury issues last season, but so did Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. Like, Markelle Fultz with Greg Popovich coaching this young man out there, that could be pretty scary. I think he would end up being a top 10 point guard in the NBA in a few NBA seasons. Saric would just be a nice fit alongside LaMarcus Aldridge. I do like the trade a lot if it were to go down, just because, Kawhi Leonard, if he does force a way out of the San Antonio Spurs, it's like the Spurs have literally like zero trade leverage right there because they know the man wants to leave. So if you can get that type of haul right there, it would be good for a future rebuild for that Spurs team. All right, next we have DeMarcus Cousins to the OKC Thunder. I never really thought about this one before. I mean, if you do want to split up the Boogie and Anthony Davis type of thing out there, I guess it kind of makes sense. Now this would be some sort of sign trade because DeMarcus Cousins is, his contract is expired. The type of trade I would see happening, I mean, it would probably be like DeMarcus. I can't think of a good trade, guys. You're not going to trade him for no Carmelo Anthony. Paul George is probably going to the Lakers, so I can't really see what type of trade could happen right there for that to be said. But, DeMarcus Cousins with Steven Adams in the front court, Russell Westbrook defensively, it's like, Steven Adams always brings DeMarcus Cousins, I think, is a very underrated defender. And, gives another big-time scoring option and a player for Russell Westbrook to dump the ball into on offense. But let's see what this... Okay, so it's not going to say who is going to be... It's usually the guy like the trade after. That's who the trade would be. Okay, what's it say, man? In a sign and trade with the New Orleans Pelicans, the Thunder would receive DeMarcus... Hell no, baby! Come on, man. Bro, you looking like the goddamn NBA 2K sliders, man. You look like you got the damn trades turned up or something like this. There is no way the Pelicans would do that. At all. All right, next up we have Bradley Beal to the Los Angeles Clippers. I do think it's time to split up Bradley Beal and John Wall. When John Wall was down with injury, Bradley Beal looked like he could totally carry an NBA franchise, and he's simply not going to get the opportunity with John Wall on his team. Now, Wall, I think, is a fantastic point guard, too, so it's like you got to pick between one or the other. But, I mean, Bradley Beal to the Clippers, combined with Lou Williams' scoring ability, if they re-sign DeAndre Jordan, you got Tobias Harris out there. I think that team is at least like a 7th or 8th seed in the Western Conference, and in a few seasons could get even better out there. But Bradley Beal, as the number 1 option on the Clippers, and more of a high-paced Western Conference offense, I think he's about a 25-point-per-game scorer, barring injury. Okay, next up we have DeAndre Jordan to the Washington Wizards. Now, personally, I wanted to see which would actually, once again, guys, probably be some sort of trade, DeAndre Jordan for Bradley Beal. It does make sense because, like, the Clippers would need to give up something to get Bradley Beal, so it would make sense a guy like DeAndre Jordan. Then all of a sudden, your team's looking like your cores being John Wall and DeAndre Jordan. The pick and roll game would be absolutely, a beautiful thing to watch out there. Would go back, it would kind of like remind me of Chris Paul and DeAndre Jordan back in those Clipper days. Do I think that team would be very good? I mean, I feel like you keep Bradley Beal, John Wall, and maybe you try to sign DeAndre Jordan. I would actually personally do like a sign and trade of Otto Porter because Kelly Oubre could probably replace Otto Porter at that small forward position. But I mean, yeah, it would definitely be an interesting team to watch out there because you got to think about it like this, like the old school Lob City Clippers in the Eastern Conference, how would they do? Because that's essentially what you're getting right here with that team, minus having Blake Griffin, of course, right? But yeah, so why not, man? Give it a try. Okay, next up we have Kevin Love to the Portland Trail Blazers. So that's a nice little fit right there because they got Nurkic on the team. Damian Lillard, I imagine, would still be on the team. My guess is the trade would probably be something like Kevin Love for CJ McCollum, something along those lines. But yeah, it would, because then it would make the backcourt Damian Lillard's backcourt. Like, he doesn't got to worry about sharing the basketball with another shooting guard out there. Him and Kevin Love in pick and pop situations could have pretty good potential out there. And like I said, man, you got Nurkic at the center position. And it's definitely a different look because CJ McCollum, Kevin Love, both those players, I would say if I had to choose between the two, I would right now rather have CJ McCollum just because he is less injury prone. He's also younger. But I mean, Kevin Love can still ball out, right? So it would be more of a low pressure situation because, like, yeah, the Portland Trail Blazers are still like in the running for wanting to be a really good NBA franchise. But I mean, playing with LeBron James and stuff, that adds a different element of stress out there. So I think Kevin Love would actually have a pretty nice bounce back season. Him and Damian Lillard on the same team, I'm guessing he could probably average around 20 points, 11 rebounds, if he can stay healthy. And then finally, like I was saying, guys, CJ McCollum to the Cleveland Cavaliers. He's like 25, 26. My guess is LeBron James is probably not going back to Cleveland. Now, if LeBron James does go back, then all of a sudden you have a really nice scoring option alongside him with CJ McCollum. If he does leave, then all of a sudden it's just CJ McCollum's team out there. You also got that 8th, 9th pick in the draft. I forgot what it was exactly. I mean, you got like Jordan Clarkson and Larry Nance. So yeah, that team's probably not making the playoffs unless you get a nice steal in the NBA draft. But CJ McCollum as the number one option, I think, is probably about a 22, 23 point per game scorer. So yeah, guys, give me your thoughts on all this in the comment section below. I thought some of these trades were pretty good here. Some were better than others. Of course, like that Kristaps Porzingis one, I think made little sense at all. But anyway, my friends, hope you all enjoyed this video. Be sure to drop that like, subscribe if you're new to my channel, and peace out, my friends.